Hello everybody, my name is Spicy and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Faction Wars Hard. Now, Raid has put out today a video on how Faction Wars Hard is going to work and all that stuff. I figured I'd give you my opinions on things, what I'd recommend you guys do to get ready for it, and just kind of look at a checklist of what you should be doing, knock all that stuff out, and should be good to go. Now, before we get started, I've seen a lot of things already about stuff being really scared of how impossible this stuff is going to be. I saw a comment about in Hell Hades' video or something, something was mentioned about Warlord being the only champion that can do a certain thing. It's not true. We'll get to that. No, I'm not calling out Hell Hades or anything. I'm saying that somebody had mentioned it. I'm a viewer or something. So let's go ahead and head on over to the actual video itself. We're going to watch it on mute, just so I can kind of give my opinions on things. We're not going to go through everything because I don't feel like watching the whole thing. Basically, you have to beat all the normal faction wars, get hard faction wars, use the same keys, all that stuff. The final reward is the mythical. She seems pretty broken. Here it talks about all the different challenges that you have to do to get 3 stars. The new bosses, they don't seem too incredibly insane. They seem difficult, but not impossible. I've heard that a lot of people are scared of the purple one. Haven't looked too far into it, but from what I can tell, it's not that bad. The new relics are pretty okay. This epic one right here is going to be really good. This one will be good, I believe, for Nell. This one it's kind of weird. It kind of like stacks your buffs into damage. It's kind of okay. It's like a seer, but every turn it's whatever. I wouldn't say it's that great. This one I believe did look really, really good. This is one I'm very excited for. And then these two, this one specifically, the mythical one, the first one looks really insane. And then this mythical one looks okay. Stacking your stats by percentage for every faction ally you have. It's okay. Nothing broken or anything. So that's the very, very basics of how this works. There's some new debuffs and things that I don't know too much about. I haven't looked into all of that, but I'm more worried about walking you guys through how you can actually beat this content because, well, I've seen a lot of people really worried about how possible it would be. But let's go ahead and walk you guys through a checklist of things you absolutely need to have. So I went ahead and threw this up on my Discord. You can join through the link down in the description below. But I'm not going to show it up on screen, but I'll kind of talk to you guys about it. So I said everybody should go ahead and make a checklist of five epics per faction, 2 to 3 supports per faction, 2 to 3 debuffers per faction, 2 to 3 nukers per faction, and then 1 to 2 good crowd control set candidates per faction. Now, I know that's a lot. I know that's a lot to think about. Let's go ahead. Let me break it down for you. Let's go through every faction, check off some epics, some crowd control champions, things like that. So in every single faction, if you have the mythical, they're going to be used. That's just how it is. Every single faction's mythical is useful. They are good. Even if they're not the best champion, like Mezimel, Gallius will be fantastic for this actually. Mezimel is going to be okay. She does have crowd control and she's a amazing crowd control candidate. She's also a great nuker for faction wars, so that is something to keep in mind. And then basically every other mythical is going to carry their faction. So if you have the mythical, congratulations, you're going to have a really, really easy time with that faction specifically, except for Fjorad. But even then, he has some freezes. He'll still be good. He'll still be a great champion. He has this skill. Overall, every single mythical is going to be very, very impactful for every single faction. Now, when it comes to epics per faction, we're going to do this real quick fire. We're going to go through every single faction, talk about 5 epics, not really talk about them, but just highlight them, say these are the ones you could be using. So for Banner Lords, and starting with this, Archmage Helmet, he's free, easy to get, everybody should have him. He's going to be your main carry. Stag Knight, another amazing, amazing champion. Ursala, you'll absolutely need her. Warcaster can be a really good one. Azur can be another really good one. Giscard is one I'm going to highly recommend everybody try and get. He's going to absolutely carry some of that. Oathbound is another very strong one, has some lockouts, has some good damage potential. And then Seneschal is another good one that you could be bringing in just for a little bit of crowd control and maybe some heals for himself. But overall, some really good stuff. I know there's other good ones. Stuff like this. Um, there's a lot of good epics in every faction, but those are just some of the ones that came to mind for me. So do keep those in mind. This guy can do some damage if you need a damage dealer. Everybody will need a damage dealer. But yeah. So now, High Elves. High Elves is very, very, very limited. It is the most limited faction in the game, I believe, when it comes to epics, and funny enough, it's been around for the longest. So, who are you going to bring in? Who are you going to be bringing in here? If you have a Battle Sage, you absolutely need to bring her in. What is its name? Ethlin is going to be a very good nuker, and he can put him in some crowd control. Andrissia is actually going to be amazing. I will highly, highly recommend her. Neldor, Tyrell, Royal Guard, Skaramis. Skaramis is probably going to be the carry for this. I will be, if I pull him, I'll be actually very excited. First time being excited for an epic in a long time. But Skaramis, absolutely necessary. Even if you have legendaries, he's still going to be fantastic. So yeah, Skaramis, Tyrell, Neldor, Ethlin, Andrissia, Battle Sage. Those are ones you really need to be looking at. Vergis is another good one for protection. So yeah. Next up, we have Sacred Order. So Sacred Order actually has probably the easiest time with epics, I would say. We have Godseeker, Shamel, Lightsworn, Cardinal, Phoenix, Deacon, Mordecai, Lodric, Anchorite, Aothor is pretty solid. Talia can be really good. Juliana is okay. Sanguine is really good. So epics wise, this faction is going to be really easy. Hopefully you guys have some of the void epics because they're going to carry. But Phoenix and Deacon, I would say, are probably going to be the two most important ones to have. Cardinal and Godseeker right alongside them as super important ones. And then Oghren, another somewhat limited one, but actually fantastic options. I would say it's going to be really easy for a lot of people. We have Ugo, Claude, Skullcrusher, Shadowbones, Maneater. I don't think Seize is that good. I know some people use Ruckus. He can be okay. Yeah, Siege Hulk does a crap ton of damage. Skrank is probably the best damage dealer for most people in this entire faction, actually. Because unless you have Grisur or Gurgo, I think Skrank is the hardest hitting champion. And then Urgrim can also be pretty okay. And I think Prondar, yeah. Prondar will actually be fantastic for this. So if you do have Prondar, be sure to build him up. He'll be great for Faction Wars. Now, Lizardmen. Okay, never mind. I stand corrected. This is the most limited faction. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna need a Broadmaw, Basilisk, Jering, possibly Jizo, Aox. Slixus is really good if you have him. I would say make sure to get a Slixus in here. Skavix is also another fantastic one. I'd say the absolute carries for this faction are Broadmaw, Skavix, Basilisk, because of the AoE A1 on both Basilisk. Okay, so it's Basilisk that I was thinking of. Jaren can just be a decent nuker with a little bit of control, but Basilisk is the real carry here. I think this guy, yeah, this guy can be okay, some healing and things. Delaja, another great champion. Delaja can be very, very solid for you. So there is some options, but there's very few options, and if you don't have these, it's just not going to work out for you, because I believe at stage 10 of every single faction has the epic only stipulation. So then we have Skinwalkers, another really easy faction, at least I think. If you have a Kentum, Basher, Balf, Yuzon, actually, if you did get Yuzon, he's going to be fantastic. He'll help out a lot of people. He's maybe I was overestimating this. Because the Kenton Basher Balf Steel Skull Heforhes is probably going to be what I use. But yeah, Yuzon, very good. Frenzy, actually a very underrated champion. I'll be using her. I have one 6-star. She's good for AoE provoke, can do a little bit of damage, some HP burns out there. I would recommend a Frenzy if you do happen to have her. Orcs, another really easy faction. We have Jorg, Tagore, Duck. We have Rask, Sandlash Survivors, Argala, Seer, Trumbor, Tuhan. Yeah, I mean, this is very easy. It doesn't get too much easier than this faction. Maruku, you can kind of use her. Marauka, I don't know, however you say her name. Demon Spawn, Allure isn't that good for waves, so I would say Akoth is probably the #1 champion you guys will need to be bringing in here. So yeah, Akoth, Nizana has an A1 AoE and some protection everywhere else. Achak actually, HP burns and freezes, as well as some block debuffs and things. Tarshan, a fantastic champion, some control, some decrease, well, no, some control, some weaken, increased turn meter, increased defense. Gorlos, he is also very good. Magnar, another fantastic one. Padma can be okay. She isn't the best, but you could use her if you're really struggling. Umbral Enchantress is going to be the #1 carry for these waves, and possibly one of the biggest carries for the faction. I believe maybe crowd control wise, unless you have, if you have Kymar or Countess Elix, you're probably doing pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty accessible, I guess. Skimfos can be pretty good. He has some AoE, some turn meter. Steel Dur is the only reviver outside of Duchess, I believe, in the entire faction. So yeah, with this faction, it might be that you either have Dur or Duchess or you're screwed. But hopefully you have one of them. And yeah, so Epic's pretty solid there. Undead Hordes. We have Gorgrab, Seeker, Catacomb for ally attack. Is there any other ally attack champion? I think. Oh yeah, Necrit. Maybe I don't know if his counts as an ally attack. Um, yeah, yeah, his is an ally attack, so that's cool. So yeah, Gorgrab, Seeker, Catacomb, Dark Elhane, Husk, Vogoth, Mausoleum Mage, Ostrox, maybe Khafru, maybe a little Anax. Yeah, this faction shouldn't be too incredibly bad. I could definitely see some people struggling, but a Husk, Dark Elhane, Seeker, Gorgrab, and Catacomb could do it pretty easily. Dark Elves, there's some decent options here. Kaden, Dark Kale if you absolutely have to. Spider, Dirindil, and Luria are actually two that you absolutely need. Either one of them. It's going to be incredibly hard to do this without at least one of them. Delver can be pretty good. Fang Cleric is a reviver. Lua is amazing for control. Very, very good champion there. Madame Ceres, of course, we all know her, we all love her. Sylar, probably the best controlled champion in the faction. Tremaria and Vizix are also up there. Yeah, one of the best controls in the faction. So yeah, those are probably best options there. Now, epics, we have Miscreated Monster, Senesha, Doom Priest, Sepulcher, Rector, Thylesia, Kaitis. Baragoth can do some heals. Malekith can be good for some support. Faceless, a great nuker. Skullcrown, a great nuker. Whisper, probably the best boss killer in the faction. I guess besides like Jorjid. But yeah, I would say you're definitely going to need a Whisper. Doing this faction and Faction Wars Hard without a Whisper is going to be very difficult. I would be trying to get one of her if you are already not. Oh my goodness. This is a rough faction amount wise. Now there's very good quality within this. Cornelia, Filja, Rearguard Sergeant, Geomancer, Rockbreaker, Melga, Farbor, Morag, Runekeeper, Dazdirk, Gala, Rugnor, and Amitha are all good options. Isbel can also be a very good option. She does really well at taking out some high level enemies with those bombs. Shadowkin, this one, it's only one reviver, I think. No, that's not a reviver. Yeah, I think Kinegashi's the only reviver. So either have her or control seems to be the way to go. So Taragi, Hatatsu, um, Fenshi, Suiren, I believe. Yeah, Suiren can be good. Gori can be good for some damage and some control. He also has counterattacks. I don't think Jurgen is that good. Kinegashi, like I said, the only reviver. Masamoto can actually be pretty solid. He has this turn meter fill, increased defense, decrease attack, some stealing some buffs, can be pretty solid. Obero can be a good nuker. Genbo, probably one of the better nukers for the epics. And then I think Taya has a little, no, okay, I was wrong. I was thinking she had a little bit of control, but she certainly doesn't. So this might be a little bit difficult, but I think as long as you pick up a few of the champions, specifically Taragi, Kinegashi, and one of the nukers, you should be able to make it through. Now, Sylvan Watchers, by one of the easier ones, I think. We have Pan, Dythe, Creodin, Nia, Ruella, Ornn, Ayla. Yeah, I mean, Creodin alone can basically solo wave, so can Dythe. Pan is an amazing nuker, probably one of the best nukers in the entire faction. Alil and Kaldor are going to do really good, but yeah, besides those, Nias and Nell are the only other two really good nukers in the faction, so I would be going with those. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of epics. Now let's talk about some good supports per faction, and then some debuffers, some nukers. We'll knock out supports and debuffers. I'm just gonna list off some great champions to try and focus on throughout the entire faction. We've already listed the epics that are good, so I'm not gonna come back to these. But if there's a rare or something I feel like that needs said, we'll do that. So when it comes to here, we've already said all mythicals are gonna be good. So if you have the mythical, great on you. Sathalia can be a good support. She can be okay for debuffing, not really a good debuffer, just more of the support. Cillian can do a little bit of nuking, but has some of the best control in the faction. Sigmund, great for control, great for support. Rhonda, of course, a damage dealer. Black Knight isn't very good. I don't think he'll be that useful. Stultus, amazing, nuking and control. One of the best champions for the entire faction. Manaya, great for support. She doesn't do too much else besides supporting, but she is there. I say Helier isn't that good. Timid can be great for control, as well as a tiny bit of damage. Wrathful is good for damage. Adlin just awful. Lugan can be good for support and control. Septimus, maybe damage, specifically on the bosses. Richthof can be good for damage, and then control on his A1. Kaja, of course, a great support. Aislinn, a great support. Oh, yeah, I mean, this should just go without saying. Every single one of the faction, what is it called? Faction Unity champions will be good. Raglan will be amazing. Baron will be insane. Taras insane. Marichka insane. Yeah, I mean these guys don't need explanation. Quintus also will be fantastic. High elves, we have Islin, Othorion, Shiramani, Lathanaril would be really good. Robanus actually has a lot of good damage and a lot of good control. Deliana will be great for control. When I say control, guys, I want to specifically say I'm saying on the good candidates for crowd control sets specifically. Any of these AoE, like constant AoE champions are going to be your best options. Incarnate isn't that good. I don't see her being used. Lysandra, amazing for turn meter control specifically. Royal Huntsman, a great nuker. Yannica, a decent nuker. Tatura, overall great for support. Can definitely do a lot of control with his passive. So if you throw maybe a free set on him or something, it'll make him even better. Prisma can be really good. He has a bit of a revive, but if you're going to be using a reviver, you're probably going to use Arbiter. Lysanthier, great for nuking, great for some of those bringing in a decreased defense. He can probably one-shot the boss with this on a good run. Ethos, good for control and nuking. If you weren't thinking about it, this guy has 2 AoEs, good for a control set. Bellinor, another great overall champion for the faction, brings you that decreased defense weaken, he'll be great. Supreme Milhane, another solid nuker. Barbarians. Syl, of course. Armanz basically solos the entire thing. Thor, another one that basically solos. Elder Scar can be okay. Alsgor will be an MVP. Xena, a great nuker for it. Gregor, of course. Freya, amazing for control and support both. Esme is going to be another fantastic one for this, bringing in your some block buffs will be nice, weaken will be good, all that sort of stuff. Zaharis might be good, I'm not too sure, I don't know too much about him as of right now, I don't know where I stand. Valkyrie, amazing. Rorik alongside Valkyrie could be really good. Jetney's not good. Archer will actually be amazing for this, her amount of control is otherworldly. Loki actually will be good, very, very good for this faction with the amount of control he brings. Turvold being, say, the second best nuker, third best nuker, somewhere along there. Ursaga can be good for just keeping your team alive. Yakarl's probably going to be everybody's. Like, if you don't have Thor, if you don't have Armanz, he's your go-to. Tuhanarak, good support, and Odin, an absolute carry. Now, when it comes to Oghren, Biggin, great for damage, great for control, one of the best champions for control in the faction. Wormmother can do some damage. Ignatius, another fantastic damage and control champion. Vizig, of course. Gerptuk, not going to be too great. Gerda, not going to be too great. Kurgar actually going to be fantastic for control, turn meter control, and protection. Jeroboam's actually going to be really solid, I would say, because he does have this decrease in cooldown, which is part of some of the factions, things that you need to be focused on. He has a good bit of support. I 6-starred mine because of this coming up. Cracklin, I believe to be pretty awful from memory. Yeah, awful champion. Moto, probably going to be one of the best nukers for the faction. Tuskor, another solid nuker. Shamrock, decent support. Drakgol, okay support. Ygir, I believe, yeah, he'll be okay. I don't think he's going to be insane. But I do think he'll be solid for damage. Blizzard, amazing for control. One of the better control champions here. Stalk, just going to be fantastic control and damage wise. Gergo, another control and damage champion. Grisur, control, damage, support, he does it all. Togron has a little bit of support, not too much control. Bellatar, one of the best supports in the faction, if not the best support in Diamond, I believe, is not very good, except for, actually, he does have a lot of AoE, so great control, a little bit of support. If you do have him, he will come into this. Whew. And now we have Lizardman, Draco, of course, Basatha, actually going to be amazing for this. So much control from this champion, and he can nuke really hard. Karen, probably one of the best supports here. Control as well. Mainly the control side of things, but he's going to be great. Fushan, good for control and damage. Razin, control and damage. Not too much damage, to be honest, but a lot of control. Vargal, going to be fantastic. Probably the most important champion for this faction for a lot of people, because he's reviving a random Lizardman, which is absolutely insane. Pythion, best support in the faction, alongside Sulfurion, when it comes to reviving things. For Gumkar, actually going to be really good for a lot of people. If you have him, don't sleep on him. He will help you out a lot. Necmo, MVP right here. We have AoEs upon turn meter control. Amazing. Krokmar doing a lot of damage. Teox, absolute carry. Krisk, absolute carry, doing literally everything besides damage. Even then, he can do some damage. Ramontu, another very solid option. Shagur, going to be an absolute carry for some people. This A2 is insane. The sleep on the A1, another insane ability. Sulfurion, he has HP burns, revives, fantastic. And Fighty, another carry champion. I hope you guys can tell I'm trying to go through this pretty fast. We're not spending 2 hours going through every faction, seeing what's good and what's bad, but I am doing my best. We'll speed this up a little bit. I'm only going to call out the good champions from now on. Longbeard, Razelvarg, Uko, Nishak, Gwendolyn, Bullet, Snicktrack, Samson, maybe Cleoptrix, Ragash, maybe Loriaka, Sun Wukong, Coronar for sure, Tunisia, Lurius, and Marius. So a lot of really good champions. For a lot of these guys, like Gwendolyn, we can do a lot of control, a lot of damage. Tunisia, one of the best ones for this. Leorius, another fantastic one. Bullet, of course, we already know what he does. Uko can be a great support and crowd control. Ragash is damage and crowd control. Loriaka is a lot of turn meter, maybe a little bit of extra control from her in a set. Nishak, damage, and possibly a control set. Oh my goodness, okay. Oryx, Growhack can be okay. Krila, Ela, Artak, Robar, Gomlock, King Garog, maybe Shayak, Argas for sure. Nodgar, okay. Iron Brago, Varl, Bells, Warlord, maybe Angar, Raka, and Supreme Gaelic. Maybe Khan. Khan might be able to do a good bit of damage, maybe a little control, and he also has some support, so Khan would actually be good. Throughout all this, the main champions I'm thinking about are Varl, Aragaz, Artak in a control set. Garog is one of the better nukers alongside Varl. Raka is by far the best support. Without her, you have to use one of the epic supports. Warlord is the overall biggest carry, I would say, for this faction outside of Ashnar. I'm lucky to have Ashnar. He'll be the best champion for this entire faction. But yeah, now Demon Spawn, Kymar is going to be absolutely insane. 2 AoEs already controlling on this AoE. You throw him in a provoke set or a stun set, he's going to do insane stuff, and resetting your stuff. Tyrant, he'll be okay. Hefrak, amazing for damage. Countess Lix, one of the best debuffers and crowd control champions in the faction. Drexlar, pretty free-to-play option. Everybody can use him. It's not insane, but he'll be good. Sissy has good damage and possibly control. Withers, very good support. Volcanos is insane. Mortu's okay. Lord Jazar's okay. Duchess is the only other reviver in the faction, so she's of course very important. Helicath is going to be a very big carry. Cheshire, good damage, good possible control. Krutraxa, good damage. Lamasu, one of the carries, bringing in some crowd control. Could throw her in a crowd control set, and she resets. And then Chalco, another absolute carry. Undead, we have Rotos, we have Morrigan, maybe Scortorsis with his A1. Bad L, Blood Gorged, UDK, Mashaled, Nethril will be one of the best champions for this entire faction. Don't sleep on him. Suzerain, a very good one. Heraclides, I don't know, I can't say it, I'm sorry. Very solid. Fabian, the most important champion for this entire faction. He will solo every wave. It's not even going to be a problem. Siphi, the best support. Necrit, amazing for keeping people alive. Euros will actually be very, very solid for a lot of people. And then all of the Void Legos are actually really, really good for this. Now we have Dark Elves. Ray in a stun set or anything will be great. She already freezes. It's overall she'll be one of the better champions. Foley will be a good nuker. Noct, good for control. Zavia, good for damage and control. She has some AoEs. Moranix will be a lot of people's main nuker. Vizier, not so much. He can't spread debuffs though, do keep that in mind. Ziklik, people will probably be using. Queen Eva, going to be a big carry. Ghostborn, very solid. Blind Seer, another great support. Very good reviver. Lydia, of course. Physics, of course. Mithrala, of course. Dramaria, of course. Supreme Kale, best champion for control, for sure. And he can nuke. And then Blade Master for some nukage. Knight's Revenant, very, very good one here. We have Gaius, Erix, and Cora. Gaius can be good. Thea's pretty awful. Versolf, amazing for control. Mother Cybele, amazing for support and control. Cleth, good overall. It's just a given for any of the faction unities. Hatter will be good. Tomb Lord will be a carry. Kavlax and Theodore, amazing. Drang will be okay. Good for some support, maybe a little bit of control, I'm not too sure. Solus will be one of the most important champions. So many provokes, so much control, so much damage. Hegemon, a fast Hegemon, could actually be very solid for this. Whirlim, I'm not too sure. Maybe he helps, maybe he doesn't. Fortis, maybe. Georgid, 100%. Caroline, 100%. A lot of control from him. Narcisse, one of the better nukers, and Queen of Hearts, absolutely S tier. We got Trunda as probably the main carry. Most control, most damage. She's just doing the most outside of like Acrizia. Brogni, Herndig, Goffred, Molly, Newt, Black Tusk, Torment, Acrizia, Senna, and Arnorn are all going to be fantastic. Shadowkin, Lady Kimi, Ninja, Mishinaki, Tatsuya, Harima, maybe Yoshi. I think Noble's actually going to be good for this, maybe possibly for control. Genzin, good for damage, good for some maybe control. Not 100% on that. But he does have a lot of turn meter stuff, so he might do something for you guys. Kyoku, amazing support. Gamaran, overall just going to be fantastic. Going to be super useful. He's like a support slash debuffer. He's a little bit weird, but really good. Karato, good damage and control. Arashi, I think he's just going to be damage. Ishiyama, control and damage. Riho, good for support. Jingwan, good for support. Yumiko, a carry. Shujin, a carry. And then Onryo, probably the best DPS in this faction. For specifically Faction Wars, Toshiro, of course, does his other stuff in like Chimera, but I think for Faction Wars, Yasu's gonna do the best there. And then Sylvan, Elva, Galkabar, Oella, Kaolite, Saoirse, Eostrid, Glycad, Erath, Feral, Patty, Caldor, Allele, maybe Claydna, I'm not too sure, Emic for sure, Incensa for sure, and I'm not too sure on her. Maybe in... No, I don't know. I think she'll just kind of be mid. But, yeah, I mean, and then of course Mythics are all going to be great. So that's every faction. That's some champions that I'd be looking for. Now, I didn't go too in-depth in every single build, but I tried to just give some ideas. Wait, did I skip an entire... Did I skip Sacred Order? I think I skipped Sacred Order, guys. Yeah, I for sure did. Okay. Going back up to Sacred Order, Roshkar, Corvus, Astralon, possibly Holstring. Hansel will be good. He-Man, Alice, two fantastic ones. Errol, amazing for nuking as well. All three of these great nukers. Alice actually brings the most control out of all of them. Glacia, good for control and support. Mod, the best support, I think, in the faction, just flat out. Wixwell, really good. Matthias, I could see him being okay. Gretel, another really good one. If you have Hansel and Gretel together, it'll be very solid. Martyr, good support. Cupidus, paired with Venus, will be what I will be using. That'll be an amazing combo. Penthroid, good for support. Bivold, probably the best control champion, alongside some healing. Falmond, doing a lot of damage. Artur, a decent support if you don't have mod. Nick, another good support. Venus, insane. Cardiel, the insane. Yeah, actually, Cardiel's probably the best support, and then mod, I would say, because he brings ally attacks and everything. Constantine, good nuke. Supreme, Aethel can do a little bit of control, some okay damage. Vitreous, okay damage. And then Noelle, the other really solid support here. If you have her, probably have a decently easy time. And of course, if you have Siegfried, it's going to be incredibly easy. I think that's every faction. I don't think I skipped any others. So yeah, those are all the champions that I would be looking for. Now, I will also say the next thing you need to do to get ready is go ahead, hop into Dragon, hop into whatever between Ice Golem, Dragon, and Fire Knight, and go ahead and pick yourself up a set or two of every single control set. So for me, I need to run Dragon because we need Daze, we need Provoke, we need Stun. All of those are absolute necessities. Now, actually, let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys. We have a spreadsheet going through every single one of the, here we go. So the provoke debuffs, poison debuffs, stuns and things. We have all of these different requirements. It says every single faction that needs it. So if you guys want to take a look at all of these, they are right here. I'll drop a link to this down in the description so you guys can take a look and see if you have what you need. But yes, as mentioned, all factions have epics only. And then a lot of the factions have some of the freezes. I believe, yeah, if we go further into it, we can actually see every single one, what all of them need. Yeah. So if you guys just want to slow this down or just check the link in the description, this will be there. It goes through every single one of them. I don't know who made this. Whoever made this, thank you very much. I know this isn't something that everybody has quite yet. And I don't think anybody else has gone this far into depth. But yeah, I know this is a little out of order, but every single thing is here. And to be honest with you guys, I think the only truly hard things in all of these is the don't land any weak hits and probably beat the stage with all allies alive at all times. I can see that being pretty rough. Defeat all enemies when they have no buffs on them. That can be pretty difficult depending on the champions. This isn't going to be easy by any means, but I can definitely see a lot of these being decently easy for a lot of people. As long as you take the right steps, you max the right champions that take out the boss almost instantly with your best gear and all these things. It's not going to be that bad. I'm sure everybody will be able to clear it eventually. Just listen to me on what I said when it comes to maxing certain champions, making sure you have those sets, because they will really be needed. But let's go ahead and take a look at one other thing before we call it there. So with every single faction, I believe there is one of these. Okay, so maybe it's not here. Okay, so not all factions, but I know at least Orcs has it. So we have, where is it? Manipulate skills cooldowns 10 plus times. This is something a lot of people are worried about. This is something that a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's super pay to win. You can't do it. Well, let me show you guys something. So on a lot of these, it says manipulate turn meter, manipulate cooldowns a certain amount of times. It doesn't say on who. So no, that does not mean that Garrow or Warlord is going to be necessary. Do not take it like that. Yes, this is going to make it a lot easier, a lot faster, a lot more consistent, but all you need to do is throw on some of these sets, guys. This is another reason to do your live arena, to do your Ice Golem, a reflex set, a impulse set, and a 4-piece merciless set all do this exact thing. They will reset your cooldowns. That's all it is. That's all it means. So 10 times throughout an entire battle, you have to get 10 procs of skill cooldowns being reset. It's not that hard. And absolute worst case scenario, maybe you gotta maybe you gotta cycle of magic or cycle of violence to make it happen. But I promise you, it is possible. You don't have to have every mythic or every legendary in the game to make it happen. With my account, I'm confident that I'm going to make it happen. I believe I have, 248 champions maxed. With this, I should be able to do it. Sure, there's champions I'm going to have to invest to a little bit harder, but everybody should be capable of going ahead and over time, not immediately, but over time, be able to knock out these stages. So guys, I hope I was able to help you look at some of the different things you need for this. Maybe I was able to cool some of your worries down. No, this isn't early game content. This isn't mid game content. This is end game content. So understand, if you're not able to do it immediately, that's just how it was meant to be. It's not meant for players that don't already have probably Carnage, honestly. If you don't have Carnage, you probably aren't supposed to have hard faction wars done quite yet. It's going to be difficult, but it's possible, and I believe in you guys. We can make it happen, and I will be making videos pretty frequently in the time that I have on this, because I do ship out for boot camp in June. So outside of that, guys, I appreciate y'all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, learn anything from this video, anything like that, share this with your friends, hit that like button, subscribe. If you're not already in my Discord, you can join through the link down in the description below. There's plenty of useful tools there, a lot of great people to talk to, and a lot of stuff you can learn about. The only other thing I can say, if you need any account help or need help setting this stuff up yourself, I do offer account services, and they are on a 25% sale until I leave for boot camp. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much again. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.